The Council of Aging, Southern California, it's art class, Painting with Acrylics with Kim Brandon Watson. Artistic expression is a powerful way to cultivate creativity and tell our personal story. Creating art enables us to share our culture and our identity. During these unexpected times, when we are all staying home, trying to be healthy and safe, the Council of Aging Southern California is here to provide a comfortable outlet for you to express yourself creatively in the form of art. We believe that art has a significant therapeutic value. It can help us cope with the isolation and social distancing that we are all currently experiencing, as well as help us reduce the stress and anxiety associated with this temporary isolation. Furthermore, this creative process can help us stay busy and motivated throughout the day. Thanks for joining me today, and we're going to work on painting a bird of paradise. We will be working with color and backgrounds. So let's get started. Okay, I also want to show you, I've got a piece of watercolor paper, and I'm going to show you how to paint a bird of paradise flower today. Now, I want to show you a way to get this drawing done so you don't have to hand draw it, though you always can, and that's great, and this is a pretty easy thing to draw. But if you want to speed up the process for yourself, there's a few different ways to get this onto your paper. I'm going to show you kind of a straightforward, easy way right now. You turn the paper over. You get like a 6B pencil, a dark pencil, and I can kind of see the outline of my image from the back. And I'm going to just take that pencil and kind of go along the edge. You could do this with charcoal too, it just gets a little messier. I like to use the pencil. Now this is if you don't want to enlarge it. This is if you have the image exactly the size that you want it. There's other ways to do it if you want to enlarge it. But today I'm just going to show you this kind of quick, fast technique so you can just get it down quickly and then start painting. This is really, we're trying to get better at painting, and hopefully you already have some drawing experience. If not, then that's a class that you would probably want to take. Because the better you can draw, the better you will be able to paint. Okay, so I kind of have this roughed in, and it's really kind of acting as transfer paper. So I'm just going to put it actually I'm going to put it over here because I don't really want to take up the whole piece of paper. So obviously I'm going to have a lot of room. Now I'm going to get some tape and I'm going to just kind of get it exactly where I want. Put a piece of tape here. And this is not real sticky tape. I want it kind of soft. Okay, now I'm going to take a very light pencil, like a 2H, this is. And now I'm going to just go over this and kind of draw, pretty hard on my lines. It's not going to be real dark on your paper, but And you know, you may even have missed a spot, like I may have missed a spot here or there, but we'll see. And this is a pretty easy image. I can probably just go in and without even having to retrace it and draw it. If you want to indicate some of those transitions of color, you can. Let's see how much of this got on the take. Okay. Now, can you see that it's there? It kind of worked out perfect, I think. So now I am ready to paint. Okay, so I put out my colors here, and I again just have my 3 primary colors in black and white. And you want to remember to start with your darks. So I'm going to make some violet, which does everybody remember how to do that? Yes, it's blue and red. And I put quite a bit of red in this, so it's more like a red violet, which I am going to want. I'm also going to make more of a blue violet. And what I'm looking at is this area in here that's very dark. And I'm going to add a little black to kind of a blue violet. That looks good. Okay, so again, I'm just roughing this in. I gotta move this just a little. I want you guys to be able to see it, but I also need to have room to paint. So, I'm gonna put it along this edge here. And don't worry if you put too much, because you can always put a lighter color over it. In fact, that's the beauty of working with acrylics. Now I'm still working on the watercolor paper. Because I wanted you guys, because I know that's what you're working on, so. Okay, and there's quite a bit of dark in here too. This probably goes down more like this. I'm just going to put a little bit all the way to the end. Maybe just a little bit in this crease here. Again, with your darks, don't worry too much. Got a little bit of dark in here. I'm going to take the little lighter version and get it a little more solid. Okay. I'm going to kind of work in this area here. So I'm going to make some green, which, can anybody remember? It is yellow and blue. Makes your green. Okay. Now remember, we've talked about this, or I've talked about this a few times. The green, a true, like real green, you don't see in nature much. See how this green here, there's a lot of blue, a lot of yellow, even purple. You don't just see that stark green. So I'm going to add a little blue to this, part of it anyway, and give myself some blue-green. Okay, and I'm going to bring that in. This looks really dark, I know, but by the time we're finished, it won't be as dark. Okay, I'm going to add a little bit of white to that, just to lighten it up. Okay, don't worry, it's not too dark. I know you see a lot of yellow and yellow-green in there. We'll get there. Okay, so now I am going to mix more of a yellow-green. See how pretty it is when you layer in those colors? I don't know if you can see it yet with the camera. And get it even more yellow. Bring it more in here. I'm going to get some really light yellow. And remember, you don't always have to do the exact colors you see here. If you start to create something and you like the colors that you're making and it's blending really nice together, you might want to leave it. I'm going to get that. I want to keep the form, you know, this is kind of rounded. Make sure that I keep that. And then there's a little bit of red orange, or yellow orange I should say, at the top. I'm going to start to implement that in a little bit. Sometimes I like to just take some white and kind of mix it right there in on the page and on the canvas there, and mix it right in when I'm right into the paint as I'm painting. And really blending as you go helps. I'm going to try to capture all those pretty colors that are blending together there. Okay, I'm going to leave that for right now, though I see a little bit more in here. Okay, now I'm going to work in this area. We've got some lighter purple coming in. And here, add some darker purple. I'm going to take this red purple and just kind of blend it in. Kind of blends into this area a little bit. And I might have taken it up a little far. I can always come back over it with the green. And I don't use a lot of water. I'm just going to take the straight red, because I already have some purple there. I'm going to put it on top of that purple. So that's kind of a glazing technique. And if I want it to be a little lighter, but I want to keep it red. I think it goes up more like this. That's my dog, I'm sorry. He's been playing and I think he wants to play some more, but okay. Just so you can start to see. I'm putting some yellow and kind of mixing the yellow and red, or orange rather, right there on the page. Bogey. Shh. The green, I'm going to have that kind of come in here. A little more yellow. Okay. You don't have to get this exactly right. It's just, it's good to try to look at form and try to get it to be, you know, look like the rounded form it is. Okay. And then I'm gonna get some green. Can I get a little bit more green than that? Okay. And I'm going to make some more yellow orange. Okay, so I'm trying to work real fast, so I'm not watching my paint mixture as well as I should. Okay, so that's kind of the beginning. At least I have some of the colors down and I've mixed a little bit here and there, but I want to definitely take it further. Something not right in here. There, I think it needed to be thicker, the stem. Just going to go in here with the little highlights here and there. I'm going to clean it up a bit. And remember, the thing with acrylics is you start with your darks and then you can put the lights over them. Let's see, I just want to blend that a little bit. You can take a dry brush and kind of blend it sometimes. Now you have to work fairly quick because you've got acrylics, so I'm going to start putting some of the highlights here as well. I might have overdone it, but I am going to try to work fast. So I'm kind of blending that in. Same with this one. And there's highlight on this side. Which gives me a little bit of form. It needs some green, darker green that I have. Sometimes I'm just really light with my brush. I don't put a whole lot of paint on it. Just enough to kind of blend it in. Yellow in there. There's some highlight up in here. A little bit of highlight right here, which actually goes with a little highlight here, which gives it that form. Oops. Get that edge a little better. get my purple. Actually, I want that to be a little more red. This to be darker blue. I want this to have and I want I'm gonna put some lighter colors in some of the leaves here. This, it's a little darker here. And if you want to get a really small brush, you can. Okay, I'm just going to put a little bit of the color in the background just so we can get kind of a sense of how to mix some of these colors, because I kind of see, you know, blue in here. We might make that a little bit different blue at some point, but it's got, this is the main kind of color until we want to lighten it or darken it. So I'm laying this blue down, and I'm just going to try to get this edge fairly nice. Okay. Now I'm going to mix up some violet. I'm kind of making this water, a lot of water in this, more like a watercolor to some level, just because it's a little quicker to do at this point. Now I'm gonna make some blue-green. So I see a little of that in here. I'm just gonna kind of blend it in. Go over it a little on that blue. And see how it starts to blend. And then take that violet, kind of get it in there too, a little more. Just kind of blend it in. I'm going to take more of my blue, just kind of go around where I see that blue. And you can do this with, you can do your edges with a smaller brush if you want. And you can kind of revise your outlines here. So, meaning if you didn't make them exactly how you thought they should be, you can kind of clean up your edges. Now you have to work fairly fast because acrylics will dry quickly. I'm leaving this edge a little different because I want to make that flower a little thicker. So that's what I mean, where you can actually change the outline. Okay. And I may get a smaller brush. I get closer to some of this. Just try to smooth out the paint as much as you can. We will be going over it with other colors, so it doesn't have to be perfect. Okay. Okay, so now I'm gonna add the green that I see in here, and I'll probably get darker in here and some green up here in the yellow. And you know, you don't need to get this perfect. This is where you actually can be a little more creative if you want. You don't have to use these colors. Though if you notice, it's pretty interesting that they're using complementary colors in the background. To the yellow is the blue. Sometimes I have to stand up and paint so I can get a better view of all of it. It helps a lot for me. It gives me kind of a more of an overview when I'm sitting the other way. I'm seeing it on an angle, so I can't really see it as well. I'm not going to worry too much if I go over the image a little bit with the blue. I can always go back over with the lighter color. I think I am going to add a little purple in here. And this is just really rough at this point. Bogey, bogey. Okay. You know, since we are working in watercolor, getting, more soaking of the paint than we normally would. So now I'm trying to blend it a little more and make it a little more even. But again, since it's watercolor paper, it's not going to have that flat kind of background. And you can actually use that to your benefit if you want. Okay. I'm gonna get my purple. I've added some white to it. And I don't want you to be afraid to really get in there with the brush and you know, really try to blend. So I see this a little lighter in here, and I'm going to do that over here too. I almost have a pretty dry brush doing this. I'm going to do that over here too. That gives you the idea. You know, if I really wanted to go in there, I would probably lighten this up, but I think it's good enough to be able to kind of show you at this point. And now I'm going to go back in on the edges of my flower just to make sure that my edges are clean and I have the right shading. Now that I've got this other color down next to my flower, I'm going to want to adjust my colors just a bit, because every color you put down next to another color is going to change things a bit. So I really want to make sure I can see kind of the shadow, the form. Oops, got a little too much paint there. I'm going to get this edge. I wanted to give this just a little bit more volume here. That's why I did the background. I did. Just going to blend a little bit of shading in these. Okay, and I'm just gonna think some of the background got on that. So again, I'm just going into my flower and getting my edges cleaned. And again, when you put a background on your image, you're going to have to adjust your colors a bit. I see orange in here. Orange. Just don't like this edge right here. Okay, there we go. Liking that better. I am going to lighten this up a bit. I could just take a little blue. Okay, so that is done for now as a quick sketch for you guys to understand a little bit more about mixing color and using your complement colors, the blue and the oranges. For a closer look, now of course I would be cropping this part off here, but we have the bird of paradise quick sketch. If you have any questions or comments and you want to put them in the chat box, that'd be great. And we'll get back to you. Thanks so much for joining me today and hope to see you next week. Thank you for participating in the Council on Aging Southern California art class. Also, a few questions to ask yourself as you're doing art projects. What were you feeling as you were creating this art piece? What does the color, shape, picture mean to you? What thoughts come to mind as you were creating art? We have supportive resources in the links below and encourage you to explore them. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask by sending us a message or leaving a comment in the chat.